Quotient of expressions involving exponents. I have provided 3 different examples that you could possibly see in Alex. Okay, and I've kind of put up some steps here. And so one of the things we should probably talk about are the steps before we kind of start this out, to make sure that we see this as I kind of explain with the examples. So the first thing is we need to look at the exponents of the like bases. Okay, so we're basically we're going to be focusing on one letter at a time, in other words. Okay, we'll end up, because remember when we multiplied, we added the exponents. Well, now we're dividing, so we're going to be subtracting those exponents. And the key is to keep whatever letter where it belongs, or if it's like a higher so if it's a higher exponent, we want it to be in the place where the higher exponent was. It'll make a little bit more sense once I start going through some of these examples. Okay, so if you look here, we're going to look at this first one, and we're going to kind of do it the long way, just so that way you can kind of see what happens as we subtract or divide in this case. So I'm going to expand all these out. So I've got Z, Z, Z. I'm making them like that because my 2's and my Z's kind of look the same. And I've got Z, Z, Z. And Y, Y. There we go. Okay, so when we have, if we had 3 divided by 3, that would give us 1, right? Well, the same thing kind of happens with the letters, except we kind of just mark them out. So this Z cancels this Z. This Z cancels this one. This one cancels this one. Same thing with our Y's. This Y cancels this Y. This Y cancels this Y. So if we look on the top, the only thing we have is a Z. And on the bottom, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 Y's. So Y to the 4th power. Okay, so that's the long explanation of kind of how this works. But looking at the numbers, we want to focus on one letter at a time. So if we're looking at our Z's, we've got 4, and we're going to subtract 3. And our answer is just 1 Z, okay? And see how 4 was the bigger number, which is what we're kind of talking about in this third step? It's the higher exponent. Well, since this one was on the top, or the numerator, that's where our answer is going to be left. And we don't ever write the 1, okay? It's just kind of assumed. So 4 minus 3, of course, gives us 1, but we just write just the letter, okay, over this. So same thing here. We had 2 minus 6, which of course, with a positive answer, would give us 4. 6 is the bigger number, so that's why Y to the 4th is on the bottom. Okay, so let's look at this one. Let's see if we can kind of make that make more sense. Either way, you can do it, you can expand it out and do it this way if you'd like. But let's look at this. We've got V to the 6th and V to the 4th. Okay, that means we're going to subtract the exponents. And we know it's going to be V to the 2nd power. And now we got to figure out, okay, is it going to be on the top or is it going to be on the bottom? So we look, the 6 was bigger, and it's on the top. So that means our answer is going to be on the top. So V squared. Okay, now we're going to look at our W's. So 3 minus, and remember we have that invisible 1. So 3 minus 1 gives us 2. 3 is our bigger number. It was on the top. So that means our W squared is going to be on the top. So in this case, you don't actually have a fraction. You just type into the box v squared w squared. Remember to make sure you press that right arrow key in between. Okay, so this is it. You don't even have a fraction with this particular problem. Let's look at this one. We've got x over x. Remember, we've got that invisible 1, so 2 minus 1 would give us 1. 2 is bigger, and it's on the bottom, so that means our x goes on the bottom. Okay, looking at our y's, we've got 2 minus 3, or 3 minus 2, which of course gives us 1. The bigger exponent is on the bottom, so our y is going to be on the bottom. Okay, well, if we have all of them on the bottom, what's on the top? You can't just make it not be a fraction. Now, in this case, this is over 1, and we don't ever write our fractions with the over 1 part. But this one, we have to have that 1 there. Okay, so we've got 1 on top, and we've got x, y on bottom. So here are 3 different ways that you will see, or, possibilities of your answers being. Okay,